Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to a stream of Dwarf Fortress, histories of cupidity and toil. We will play our fortress Dragongranite. I think we are in the late winter. Indeed, late winter, or is it midwinter? Late winter 2050, 251. Late winter 251. We have survived the attack of a were beast. I think it was a were lizard, I think, and a lizard. The fight lasted more than the full moon, or longer than the full moon, so the were lizard transformed into an olm. And that olm we could have, we killed quickly. The problem was, although that nobody was hurt, I remember 3 dwarves drinking from the brook here. The olm, of course, it went after our livestock, killed reindeers, rabbits, sheep, whatever, ram, I think it killed. So that was a bloody and gory fight, and the blood infected with olm, with this lycanthropy of him, ran all over the brook. So it's all over the place here, and somehow we don't have enough alcohol, so our dwarves are thirsty and decided to drink from the brook. So at least 3 of them drank from this brook. It could be that it is contaminated now. I'm not sure whether it is really contaminated or not. Well, I hope they drank from the tiles without blood, but I'm not sure how contamination works. Maybe if there is a blood piece here, maybe the contaminants spread all across the brook, wherever you drink. So I'm not sure whether they got infected or not. I guess we will see in our fortress the next full moon, which is about a month away. Let's take a look at our to-do list. Forge more armor and weapons. Is this still relevant? I think it is, but we may be out of ores. Dwarf fortress should be here. We may be out of malachite ore, and with that out of copper. Let's check stocks. We've got 46 copper bars. That is enough for about one full set of armor. Mr. K is asking, what is this small 2x1 structure near the entrance? I think you mean this thing. I don't know. I think you mean this thing around here. To be honest, I don't know anymore. I think it is our atom smasher. Let me check the description of it. It is bridge atom smasher, and it is it is. So you see, we have I don't even know whether it is linked. Maybe we should try to pull the lever here. So I mean, we can easily check whether it's linked. Yes. Well, no, we don't yet, because it's got Gabbro mechanisms in it. Well, Gabbro mechanisms usually means it's linked. Could be that the mechanic planted the mechanisms on the bridge and went to plant other mechanisms to the lever and somehow got interrupted, so it's still not linked. But let's assume it is linked. Atom Smasher, that actually works. We should find an Atom Smasher right here. So if I pull the lever, it's got also a mechanisms in it. When I pull the lever, the bridge should raise. Hello, the UC10. Yeah, we are really a bit hindered here by the fact that we have not found magma yet. Oh, look at this. So many. Are they resting or are they... Well, they are using the hospital as a dormitory. She sometimes feels sad at being separated from loved ones. Usitan says, it's been a long time. Are we playing Dwarf Fortress once a week only now? Well, sort of, yes. I mostly play iRacing during the week. And then once a weekend I rebuild here and clean up the racing rack and the computer table, desk and everything. And with that I rebuild it for Dwarf Fortress and spend about an afternoon and an evening playing Dwarf Fortress. Although this could change. I think that the next week and for these holidays I will play more Dwarf Fortress than iRacing. Although I will also be visiting my parents and some friends, so I may not be at home at all as well for some time. Yeah, the problem here is, where will we find magma finally? Ferko, the mayor's quarters. Where are mayor's quarters? Mayor's quarters should be somewhere. He's got our mayor has a favorite material, and we made him his quarters all carved out in that material that is here. And he is satisfied with... Why can't I see the noble screen? Okay, noble screen. Ferko. He is happy with what he has. He's killed one giant capybara. Sleeping in his chambers. Yes, so the problem here is, of course, where to find magma now. I don't think these keys really work now that I have track IR. Yeah, track IR is somehow eating up all the functional keystrokes. Yusitan is sharing kind of a funny story. I've been in a siege by a single goblin in my last season. Tough siege for sure. Interesting. It hasn't happened to me. A single goblin sieging the whole fortress. Right, and now what we've got, cavern 3, which is F6. I don't really know where to look for magma. We have designated something here, yes, it's already being worked on. Let's designate a bit more. This somehow doesn't make sense. Okay, so I have designated until down to level -5, I don't know. I really don't know where to find magma. Once we find magma, everything will be better. Then we will have lots of things to do. Oh, our archer's tower. How do I plan this exactly? Is there a reason why you build stairways side by side instead upside down? Well, those are not stairways technically, those are ramps, and I use ramps. There is not much reason, no. It's just that sometimes in stairs, when you run stairs, it happened to me a couple of times that I have ran through a column of rock and missed all the caverns around me. And with ramps, you don't do it, because sooner or later you'll get out of a column in the caverns and to discover the cavern. Also, another reason is that once I decide to have tracks and mine carts, I can easily just carve tracks on the ongoing ramps. You know, I don't need to dig new ramps, and also, instead of when the access to the staircase is up here and you somehow need to go diagonally down, usually with the staircase you would have to go down and then a corridor along, whereas with the ramp you can go diagonally. It should save a little bit of time. It's just a matter of personal preference. I'm not averse to stairs either. Yes, I think I know what the problem is. Here we have got... we have still some charcoal, so that's good. Copper bars. Charcoal. Lots of charcoal. Let's open Dwarf Therapist and see what dwarves need more armor. He needs boots. Yeah, we need boots, so let's forge some boots. It's already queued here. You tend to find a single column better for symmetrical purposes. Well, yes. I don't mind much of symmetry, because whenever I try to achieve symmetry, I find that there is a cavern in the way, or something in the way, something else in the way. I just don't bother too much about symmetry. Well, selectively, let's say selectively, I bother about symmetry sometimes, whenever I want. Troglodyte. We've got some troglodytes in the caverns. We have a giant jaguar. Where is that? Look at this. There's a giant jaguar right here. I think that could be a good fight. giant jaguar. Could be a good training. We could, of course, trap it and have it as a pet. I don't know what's more tempting. To train my Marks dwarves. I think we will kill it. Who are my Marks dwarves? Metals, gloved, and pure fences. BCE. My Marks dwarves. We will move them here. Marcon Pollen says, I never make a single column because if something happens, it kind of becomes impassable. Well, yeah, what if you breach into a cavern? You need to wall it off most often. When you accidentally unleash the hell, then a single column is hard to seal off, right? Yeah, it's got all sorts of. But so are my ramps. I have a long single ramp without the space for bridges and any other kind of stuff. Fruit Wizard is asking, can you tame it? Of course I could, Fruit Wizard. I probably could tame it. Giant jaguars certainly are tameable and trainable. The question is, what will be more useful for my dwarves, you know? They are so cute. Urist likes giant jaguars for their spotted coats. Well, we could tame it, but I figured maybe some archery training would be better for this fortress. Or do you really want me to tame it? It's a male giant jaguar. I would have to set up traps, of course. Cage traps to catch it. You guys want me to tame it? Alright, then I'll cancel the military order. Instead I will construct traps here. Cage trap. Okay, 8 cage traps should be enough. Maybe something will be caught later on in there. We should fell this tree. What else can we do? So boots. Let me check my to-do list. Forge more armor and weapons. Well, boots are already queued. Build rooms for residents. Yes, we just did that, and we've covered all our residential needs with the amount of rooms we have. However, we don't have any spare rooms in case some more residents come. So probably we would like to have a couple more rooms. How about this thing? So look, we have the access to the caverns, to the tavern is here. One level above it. Hello Paul, welcome. One level above this tavern is a space, unused space, which can be all used for pretty much rooms, right? So I would just have a door here. Or have an upstairs. Have some upstairs here. Constructed, maybe. Build construction upstairs. We would have upstairs here. We'll construct them from gabbro blocks. We would have another upstairs here from gabbro blocks. You could have upstairs here. You could have upstairs here. How about statues? We don't have any statues. We have gneiss table, limestone table, we have mechanisms, we have 3 ropes, which means we can make 3 more traction benches. And we need more ropes. There is our loom. We thread into cloth. Then over here is our loom, up here is our loom, and this is our clothier's workshop. So cloth rope, maybe. Yeah, we can make more ropes here. So what else does my to-do list say? Mine is designated. Tower and cover stairs, yes. Make a statue of Lord Paul and Yugoslovenka. Yeah, barracks. Place traction benches, well, and hospital. Ah, you see, I have done that, but I don't think I have designated a hospital zone. This is all set up here. Traction benches are placed, beds are placed, everything is in order. However, we don't have a hospital zone here. So let's set this as a hospital. And that should do it. Yeah, we will probably need some more beds. Beds. I can't find. Why can't I find beds? The thing with beds is that they are hidden here. Beds. I still have some beds, but not too many good ones. And I don't have wood. Look at me. Yeah, so let's chop down some more trees here. Oh, these trees look really nice. What is our gem cutter doing? Cutting gems and encrusting capybara bones. Yes, that's good. Mark's dwarf is visiting. Haha. Interesting. Interesting. Created masterpiece giant capybara bone scepter. The atom smasher is up. We should move all our corpses down here under the atom smasher. Let's have a garbage dump zone over here, and we will designate things for dumping. Kobold's mangled corpse. Dump. Alpaca mangled something. Skeleton dump. Partial skeleton dump. Mutilated corpse. Dump. Dump. Reindeer dump. Dump. Also the Cyclops. Dump. Doto Desauler. Human bard is visiting. What is this? Leather backpack. So many guests. So many guests. So upstairs is built. Look at this. Now I will need something above to build downstairs there. I can already designate it. Mine downstairs. We will definitely need a downstairs here and here, then here and here. It should be priority 5 all of these. Well, since these will be downstairs, it would be nice if we had a small little corridor or a hallway, like doors. Corridor. Doors. Corridor. Now for the rooms, let's see, can we have rooms here? Excellent, we can. This could be guest rooms. Yes, I think this will be okay. Welcome, Red Sock. So we'll have space for 12 more guest rooms in our tavern. Cancels brew drink. He needs a plant. Human Hammerman is visiting. Wow, lots of visitors, really. It's quite a frequented place, this one. Wonder where the jaguar is. Giant jaguar roaming in the south. The mechanic is building the cage traps. How are we doing drink-wise? 78 drinks. It's not much, but it's better than 40, which we had last session. What do we have here? Quarry bushes. But do we have bags to process them to? That's the problem, right? Is this our bags? Stockpile, quarry bushes, food, furniture. Is this our bags stockpile by any chance? Yep. We don't have bags, look at this. So instead of ropes, we should make bags. Pronto. Thrones, tables, doors. Yeah, we don't have too many doors. Where is our... Ah, here is our mason. He's making rock blocks. Let's make blocks, doors, tables. Yeah, that will be... That'll be right. Human Spearman is visiting. And we've got petitions. Look at this. Soldiering. Vestry Puzzle Spring. We approve of it. Yeah, let's approve of it. Soldiering is always good. Mason cancels. Needs hard rock. Well, tough luck. Oh, look at this. This is where we wanted to construct. More rooms for the dwarves. So take a look at this. mining action here. Let's hope that we will find magma soon. Citrine. Look how unlucky we are. There is no magma here. So where should I look for magma? Certainly there must be magma around here. Should I look more in the north? We didn't really look in the north, right? And how deep is your magma sea, guys? Is it below 0? Should I really bother looking below level 0? Maybe I should look for magma sea. Oh, the magma sea can typically be found around minus 120. What? Minus 120. What does it even mean, minus 120? Minimum is minus 5. They say minimum is minus 5. Maybe I'm not looking deep enough, indeed. But what does minus 120 mean? It's like 120... Because the game goes only until minus 24. Maybe minus 120 is like 120 tiles below surface. Now this seems to vary wildly. Now the max you can go is about minus 24. It seems I can't go below. Yeah, minus 29. Minus 29 is the last level. I can't descend more. Well, okay, I guess then we just haven't dug deep enough. Then let's dig further. What do I care? I just want to find my magma sea. What we have here? Hornblende. Let's dig then. Paul starts humming "How Deep Is Your Magma" by Bee Gees. Well, right, let's dig up to minus 120. What do I care? I don't care. I just want my magma. Let's dig to 126. and I think I have found magma sea usually above minus levels. At least I think I did. Let's see. Jaguar is still roaming around here. And I'll go grab another glass of sparkling wine. I'll be right back. Sparkling wine. What self-respecting dwarf drinks that? I'm not a dwarf. Now, I don't usually drink this, but I got a bottle from my neighbor. So, and I've got something to celebrate as well, so I'm drinking it. Hello Optimus and Yugoslavenka. So wood is being hauled inside. I have to check my musical instruments. We wanted to build musical instruments. Have you guys ever built musical instruments before? Willite says, it's free. It's all good then. Of course, yeah. Free sparkling wine. It was actually nice, yeah. I just was here at home during my lunch break and celebrating what? Yeah, I'll tell you. During my lunch break, and I went back to work when I saw my neighbor struggling pull out a box of delivery package, like a heavy box, out of her car, and I said, do you want me to help with it? And it says, okay, why not? Then it happened to be a delivery of wine. She's a wine friend or enthusiast. And she ordered some bottles of wine which were delivered, and she weren't home and she had to pick up from the post office. So she went by her car, but she couldn't pull it out of her car, and I helped her I brought her the boxes of wine into her cellar, and she said, well, do you prefer red wine or white wine, or rather sect? I said, it's mostly white wine, but sect is good. And so I got a bottle of real good sect here, sparkling wine. It's kind of her. And I'm celebrating. I'm actually celebrating somewhat early. But about about a week early. But soon I'll have a car. I've bought a car and I've ordered it, and it will be delivered in, well, I guess a week or two. At least this Thursday I shall sign the papers and transfer the first payment for the car. And so I said, okay, whatever. Because as soon as I will have the car, I'll be probably en route to visit my friends and parents and some people. So I said, why not celebrate right now? I'm really looking forward to do some travels and journeys around places. And two places I wanted to visit. Meme Rooney says, what you have, they are a pain to build. They are a single part, of course. What is he talking about? Pain to build? Did I ask you? Oh yes, pain to build. Musical instruments. Musical instruments, pain to build. Yes, they are, because they are mostly in 3 or 4 parts. And they are a pain to build indeed, because they need animal parts like guts for strings and stuff, right? And some wood stuff and some rock and some whatever, glass maybe even. It depends on the culture and the randomness of Dwarf Fortress, whatever you will need for musical instruments. Maybe there should be a specialization for a musical instrument builder, crafter. Yugoslavenka says, this is good news, the new car. Well, I'm not so sure if it's really good news. Today it struck me, because when I was ordering the car half a year ago, I was thinking, okay, let's think pragmatically and let's order something usable and not too expensive. So I ordered a Skoda Octavia, a well-equipped car, but it's a diesel engine, and as far as I can see it will probably be impossible to sell it. Because of all this diesel affair in Volkswagen and America and pollution and whatever emissions, I guess nobody really will want to have diesel cars anymore. A couple of years later, many governments are considering banning the diesel cars altogether. So I guess there will be no way to sell it as a used car, except for just a ridiculous little money, a ridiculous small amount of money, and it costs me really dearly. And I was really thinking, should I buy a Tesla? Should I buy an electric car? Because the electric network here is reasonably well built. And for my needs, I could use it already. The problem was only that the electric car, the Tesla Model 3 I was considering ordering, was about 10,000 euros more expensive than I was willing to spend. And that ultimately decided, okay, you have to make a cut somewhere. You have to say, okay, if you have an upper limit of how much money you are willing to spend on the car, just stick to it. what use would it be if I had a Tesla, but no, I would spend much more money than I'd be happy with to spend on a car, because it's not like in America, a Tesla, where you get all sorts of rebates and extra money from the government because you're buying an electric car. It's not like this. In Germany, not only you won't get this extra support from the government, but you will have to pay 20% tax on. You will have to pay customs because it's imported, and you will have to pay the shipping, which is also like 2,000. So this is all what makes the car much more expensive than it is in America for the base price, even before these incentives. So I figured it would be at least 45,000 euros for a base equipped Tesla 3 model, without any extras, of course, which I would really much desire to have in a car. And I said, well, that's not really worth it, is it? Maybe in hindsight now, it could have been worth it, because ordered back then, it would mean I would still have this free charging, which they changed now for charging only for money, and no longer selling free charging. The Skoda Octavia I've ordered with all the extras I really want happens to be close to 40,000 euros. So that's about as much my price limit was. I mean, and it's the problem is I was thinking, okay, let's have the Octavia and let's sell it. Let's sell it for money later on, so you can buy a Tesla earlier. Just have it for a limited time until Teslas are built in Europe, or until there are factories of Tesla, so that you don't have to pay these shipping and import and taxes and everything until the government situation changes and you get some money back from the government for buying an electric car and stuff like that. So let's wait like 4 or 5 years, sell the Octavia and buy a Tesla then. But it looks like I will not get any money for the car I'm buying here, because a diesel engine car will pretty much be not sought after. So it's a crux there. I'm not happy with it completely. But it's a very fine car. I mean, nevertheless, it's tailored to whatever I wanted to have there. And Marius says, "Don't worry, they'll sell like hot bread in Eastern Europe." Well, yeah, whatever. Yeah, for what money, right? I figured I could get at least 10,000 euros for it in a couple of years, in like 3-4 years. I don't know. At the time when I ordered it, diesel cars were better in terms of aging. Like an aged car sells for more if it's a diesel. But one never knows. I mean, I always read that, like today I read a newspaper article that there are predictions that in 15 years every new car sold will be an electric car. Whatever. Electric cars are going to be here, and I'm very enthusiastic about them. I would love to have one, but they are just slightly out of my price range right now. Even with this Tesla Model 3 thing, just not feasible in Germany today. Had I lived in USA, in California and stuff, I would definitely buy some. But yeah, Optimus says for very low money in Eastern Europe. Yes, so I guess it's a combi. What I bought. Yeah, it's a combi. It's got a lot of room. Well, yes, Will Idwani says you have a car made in 1970 or 1987. That's all good, but you know, fuel prices will certainly change upwards. Will certainly get more expensive, and taxes and everything will change in the local governments to support electric cars, I suppose. So there will be much pressure for people not to buy used fossil fueled cars anymore, but to switch to new electric cars as soon as possible. And with that, I think my car is going to end in a wrecking yard rather than in a used cars dealership. But now that I have spent almost 40,000 euros at it, I should better use it as much as I can to make it worth, right? So I'll travel a lot. I figured I could do some video blogs of my travels by car across Europe to interesting places. So the Nagi channel will expand by yet another level. I mean, we have gaming, not gaming, we have knitting or whatever I'm doing there with rugs and stuff. So we will have travel vlogs. So what's those Rex socks say? I would be careful about electric cars in desolate locations. You can always carry extra gasoline or find some place that has it. But charging would be a problem, yes. Same for Sweden. I would need the ability to drive in remote areas and in woods. Always carry extra battery. Yeah, Ferko, road trip live streams. Something like that, yes, Ferko. that is going. That's coming to be there. I mean, that's unavoidable. As I said, once I have the car, I want to use it to make it worth the money I spend on it. So, just like racing, you know, I spend so much money on racing equipment, racing hardware. I just needs to play the worth out of it. It costs me certainly some, I'd say 2, maybe 3,000 euros. It's an expensive hobby of me. So and it would be a shame. Okay, I spend now 3,000 euros on it, and I've played like 300 hours only. That's like 10 euros per hour of gaming. It's pretty expensive. So let's play some more. That's why I erase the hell out of it. So yes, there will be car streams and car videos. Actually, not so much about car, but more about the places I visit with it. I've planned some pretty good trips. It's like all vacation trip, like 2 weeks or even more sometimes. Be long trips. I'm really looking forward to them. So where did we end here? I'm drifting away in my thoughts here and rambling about cars. But at least you can see how much I'm looking forward to it. Visual says, let's play 2,700 hours more. Yeah, and, that would be appropriate, I think. Well, I know it's just silly. It's crazy when you think how much money I spend on gaming. But the problem is I don't have really anything else to spend money on. I'm not buying a home. I don't have a family. I don't have any needs for extra furniture or any kids to equip for school or whatever. I could save the money, but and use it when I'm retired. But I figured, well, when I retire, I better look that I die quickly and painlessly, rather than in the rather than thinking of enjoy the life. Why would you enjoy the life at the end of it? Enjoy the life while you're living it, while you have the vitality and power to live. When I'm 70, what what should I spend my hard saved money on when I'm 70, when I can barely move and use a crutch and every bone in the body is aching and my sight is mostly gone and my hearing is gone and everything, my vitality is gone. Then when I'm 70, I just want to, I don't know, read books and think and be an old man. But when I live, I want to live. So I spend my money on living right now. Just want to die soon. I mean, I want to die as soon as my as soon as my vitality drops below an acceptable level. In my health. We had some sad stories in our among the people we know, like a co-worker of my father, who we knew a little bit personally as well, has planned a retirement for years. He was heading to his retirement in the company. He was saving money, planning stuff, really preparing for it, looking forward to it. He retired, and a year after, he had a heart attack and died because of it. So he was so many years he's been looking for he was looking for something to enjoy, which he didn't even have the chance to do. It's sometimes it happens, just you can't rely on that. And he died pretty early. I mean, his age was, I don't know, 65 or something. Pretty young in today's terms so why would that's where I figured, what does it matter? When you're old, you're old. You can't really run upstairs. You can't really make hiking trips. You don't have the physique anymore to do stuff. You don't have the energy, the vitality to do anything. And I know with current retirement policies here in Germany, it looks like I'll be working until I'm 70 at least, because they shifted the age of retirement from 65 to 68, and it's still not enough. So I don't know what they are. Maybe I'm not even looking for any money I get as a pension as a retired when I retire, because the state just doesn't have the money to finance all the old people, especially in Europe, where there is a lack of young people financing the old generation. We are just dying out, and let's face it, there is no youth, no young people working here and paying for us old ones. So the future for me in my old age is not too bright. So that's why I don't mind dying early. I just want to be have a productive life, do some work which makes sense, and live life as much as I can. And when I'm old, I just die. Till then, drink wine, eat best food, of course. Yes, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, you're afraid of Alzheimer. Yeah, it's a nasty disease as well. Yes, especially if it's in your family. Yeah, I really think somehow euthanasia will have to be the rule. Right now, it's unethical to just for people to choose. Okay, now it's the time I'd like to die. It's I don't know. It's a cultural thing. We consider it unethical. There are laws against it. That the hospitals cannot do it and mustn't do it. But it will be the only solution if there is like a ratio of 70% old people and 30% young people, which is where the current European population is heading to. There will be no other choice for the state because there will be no money to support all the old people. But things are in great dynamic change with all the new folks immigrating to Europe and breeding a lot. So maybe it's not so much of a problem. Maybe the workforce, the young generation will grow again, and there will be somebody to care for us old people. William says, save your money to freeze yourself until technology is advanced enough to get a new body when it's foolproof. Well, not even that is impossible, for sure. Anyway, where did we end up? So we are building cage traps for the Jaguar, but we don't have enough cages. Optimus says, hopefully immigration will stop, at least in your part of Europe. Well, Optimus, is a difficult problem, right? It's I'm not happy about the immigration, and I'm not happy about the demographic of Europe changing, because it's changing from Christianity to Islam, and it's been Christian for thousands of years. And now, in a matter of 50 years, it just switches like that. In a matter of 2-3 generations, just because we have advanced into a stage where just the state politics is not, and just the I would say the scenario here, the life conditions for young Europeans are just too much career oriented and not too much family oriented. So many Europeans just choose not to have a family or sacrifice family for career, and if they choose to have a kids, then just 1 or 2 kids, but that's not enough for a healthy growth of a population. And all the immigrants from Islamic countries are here, and they are happily having big families and founding families and living happily here. In the good cases, peacefully. In the bad cases, criminal and some problematic ways. But it looks like most of the young generation is growing up in Islamic families here in Europe. So it's a matter of 20 years until they will have their kids, and Europe will change. I mean, such changes have happened just the way they have happened, just like Christianity took over in the ancient ages. All people here were pagans, and at some point Christian missionaries came and built churches and converted everybody to Christianity, and it somehow we went with it for thousands of years. It looks like change is coming. Islamic countries, Islamic people are coming to these countries, and they are not wanting really to change anybody, but they don't want to integrate with our culture anyway. they don't want to integrate either. So they want to keep their Islamic culture and customs, and raise their families in this manner. Okay, and if we allow this, then things will change around here, because in 20 years they will be the majority, and things will change. So whatever. I mean, there will be pretty much pretty big changes coming, unavoidably so, I guess. It's difficult things. Some, how do I say, turbulent times are ahead, and I think I'll live long enough to see it myself. The old Europe changing. Musical instruments. So how do we build musical instruments? Let's read the chat. Optimus says no one normal enough can be happy. Paul says my grandmother is 95. Her physical health and mental health are deteriorating fast. She literally said she's waiting to die because her life has nothing to offer. Yes. That's the worst years of your life, I guess, Paul. If you don't have a loving family who interact with you, where you no longer feel like you are having an important role in your family or in your surroundings, in your social connections, that's where you realize my life has no purpose, and that's where you just want to die. It's horrible, yes, and I think euthanasia is a good solution for exactly these peoples. Optimus says, Nag, we are stopping them very easily and no one complains. Army, tanks, problem solved. Well, Optimus, yeah, that's the violent solution, of course. Yeah, there's always a violent solution. Question is whether it's okay, whether your politicians are okay with it. A war is always bad. I don't know. But who can say? I mean, I'm not much of I'm not at all a Christian. In fact, I'm against Christianity. But or somehow I don't fancy any sort of religion. I'm just a man without religion, and I'd like to live my life free of any religion. But who is to say that Christianity is somehow better than Islam? It's a religion. Either each of them is a religion, and each of them is equally incomprehensible to me. So, just as I would mind, for example, in Bavaria, in German, in some school class, there is the custom that there is a Christian cross hanging on the wall in schools in Bavaria, and I think why would we need this? Why should there be a symbol of Christianity in today's school classes and schools? There is no need for that, in my point of view. So I'm against it, and I'm also against teachers wearing these hijabs and this Islamic sort of clothing. There is no need for that. If they are here and they want to be teachers, they should integrate with our culture and just be neutral. Yeah, that's so. Just my opinion. So I don't visit churches much because I feel like I don't belong there, because when I don't believe all that stuff, why would I be there? I could admire the architecture, I could admire the artwork in the churches and everything, as much as I could admire the architecture and artwork of the mosques. It doesn't matter to me, but it's just this spiritual side of things that I don't want to integrate in my personal life. So that's I don't really mind. Just want to stay free out of religion, either whether it's Christianity or Islam or what everything. And Red Sox says, I'm not happy with permanent immigration either. The reason why a lot of people are let in is to make the economies more competitive. Yes, it's exactly. That's why the politicians allow it. They see, okay, our society is not producing enough children to support the commerce. We will need workforce, and we are not getting it. The couples are just not producing it. There will be a crisis for new people working in 10 or 20 years. This crisis can be solved either by expensive measures like supporting families and making laws to not to fire people during their time where they raise children and found families, and support the science and the intelligent, like the the intelligence, the people who have studied and are scientific. Their life conditions are totally incompatible with any sort of family life in today's Germany. So either we change that and spend millions and millions of euros to support founding of families, or we just let the immigrants in, which will found families anyway, which is the cheaper solution. So they go for the cheaper solutions, let the immigrants in. We'll have enough young people, and if they make it right, it doesn't even matter whether they integrate with our culture or not. It just has to be made. They just have to make sure that the criminality is low enough and manageable, and that then they avoid any sort of how do you say, like interstate war, where it's not an international war but war within one nation. How are these called? When German people would fight German people of another, like this civil war. Just avoid the civil war in Germany. So as long as that is given, we'll have enough young people, because the immigrants are founding families, and they will provide the workforce we need, and they will provide the new generations. So it's their choice, and we live in a democracy. So the German nation has elected these people. So it's basically the folk's decision. It's the Germany's people who have decided this indirectly. So that's democracy. It's the people's choice. I think you Westerns are too soft and life and society and needs too democratic. You don't even know true nature of Muslims. They are not needed here. Well, Optimus, we may hate them, we may love them, but who cares? It doesn't matter. Who is to say Christianity is any better than Islam? Am I to judge this? This is, this is a difficult decision. What is What do you? How can you tell some one religion is better than the other, or one culture is better than the other? Ultimately, the culture that survives is better. That's all it matters. That's all it matters. It's like nature. And whether you survive by violence and war, or whether you survive by peace and population growth, who cares? As long as you survive. Certainly, there is a lot of emotions with the old Europe, but life is change. Change is life. How about the Europe before Christian era? What of it is left today? Nothing. Are we happy? Yes, we are. Maybe in 1,000 years we will be happy to have an Islamic Europe. And what of the Christian Europe will be left? A couple of museums, possibly. And we'll be happy about that. I mean, who is to decide what culture is better than another? You can't really decide it without getting into some racist and nationalistic thoughts, right? It's difficult. Yeah, faith always brings extremists. It always pushes you to the extremes. And who are you to judge what culture and what way of life is better than the other? I don't go around beating females and cutting other people's heads. Optimus, it's a cultural thing. If the culture allows it, nobody sees it as a crime. That's the problem. Like, if it's legally not a crime, it's a cultural thing. Like, consider, like, let's think away of these religions and think to the ages of Columbus and discovery of America and native folks back then, where there were myths of these man-eaters and cannibals, which was so abhorrent to our culture. The idea was just astonishing and absolutely, well, I don't know, like heretic, considering a human eating a human. But during my studies as a linguist, I was in contact with ethnolinguists and ethnologists, and I have a whole another view on these things, because when you consider these folks from within their own culture, these man-eating rituals, they symbolized something. They were they had the belief that some features of their enemies, of the defeated enemies, their strength or their whatever spirits would somehow transfer into their body, into themselves, if they eat their body parts. So it was a ritual. It was a cultural thing. It had meaningful background, and it was all well meant. They weren't eating humans because it was tasty, it was a delicacy or anything. It was a ritual, performance of a ritual, just as we, I don't know, pour water on babies' heads to baptize them. Just a sort of ritual. It's a ritual performance. And the early explorers, of course, didn't understand all the culture around it, built around this cannibalism. And they deemed it absolutely ununderstandable and absolutely no-go and heretic, and these cultures, these primitive folks should be wiped out. Turns out these primitive folks had a just as complex culture as we do. They just have other rituals, other habits. They lived in another environment, so they didn't mean any harm by it. It was just their culture. So they did things which seem cruel to us, but to them, they were just, I don't know, like, yeah, basically rituals. So that's why I say we can't really, if you superposition yourself like within the other culture and see it from the context of all the culture around it, it makes perfect sense. If the belief and religion and culture justifies women to be restricted and under the man's command, and basically I don't know, some sort of a personal slave to the man, whatever. If it's this cultural thing, and a woman of that culture can truly feel she's accomplished something if she married a man, and well, that she is, you say she's mistreated by him and somehow beaten or whatever. Maybe they don't see it like it. Maybe that's acceptable for them. It's a way of life. Or there are cultures where especially women somehow lose the parts of their fingers depending on how many, I don't know, how many relatives they lost or children they lost. Somehow there were cultures which were really chopping off knuckles of the fingers ritually as well. So why would you do it? It's harmful. It doesn't do good. It's seen as an evil thing by us Europeans. But from that culture, it just, I don't know, like piercing in the ear for us. Some people do it, like it. Okay, chop off your finger if you lost a parent or anything. It depends on the point of view. You can't really. It's very hard to judge what is better than the other. Why one culture would be better than the other. It really depends on the point of view. Willite says, I would suggest that Western culture has moved on a little since we do not need to revert to barbarism. Well, humans are the worst animals, yeah. Ethics and morality should be taught at schools for a couple of centuries. With a bit of luck, we'll end up... Yeah, Paul, but why would you teach our Western ethics and culture? Why not anybody else's culture? Why not the Islamic culture? Why not the Buddhist culture? Or why not ancient Maya or Zapotec or Sumerian or Akkadian Hittite culture? Why not that? Why ours? What does our culture make any better than all others? And who is the one to judge it? How can we decide? It comes to morality. And how do you define it? Yeah, there's no objective morality. Exactly, Marius. Morality is strictly culture bound. What one culture sees as moral is absolutely unacceptable by another, and so on. So Exactly what I'm talking about. People will keep resorting to religions of opium to escape the harsh reality of society, increasing blah, blah, blah. Increasing what? Increasing pressure imposed on the economic system, yeah. Escape to religion. That's another thing, yeah, that people tend to escape to religion. As much as I'm escaping to gaming, I just don't want to care of all the things around me. Just revert to gaming to have a good time. People revert to religion. Muslims to Islam, Christians to Christianity, Buddhists to Buddhism. My nation, says Optimus, spent 700 years of war with Islam and 700 fails of trying to integrate them in Western society. Things that your government is doing is wrong. There is no way for them to integrate. Never. Yeah, we are Optimus, yeah. Nobody's talking about integration. I'm talking about a takeover. Take their children and give them PlayStations. They will not care for Islam. Yeah. If it would be so easy. Remove kebab. That's something I really like. I like kebab. That's one good thing. Because I'm European, I will teach them my culture. If you're giving up on that, Optimus, but these things have happened before. I know from the studies of ancient Near East that the Hattic culture of today's Turkey, we don't know almost anything about it. Because why? Because the Hittites came. Hattusha was the capital of the Hattic culture. Hattic people lived and thrived around, and somewhere Hittites came, these horse breeders, and they took over so sneakily. Nobody ever noticed it. At some point they were there, and at some point they just took over the government and the state, and then they grew to become the world's greatest Hittite empire all over the ancient Near East. And it just happened so peacefully, and nobody really knows why and how. I imagine it must have been something like what's coming to Europe now. We have some Islam immigrants here, okay, they have like 2%, 3% of whatever of population in Germany. In 20 years it will be 50%, in 70 years it will be 80, 90%. It will happen in a matter of a century, just like that. They will just take over. There will not be enough of our old people to fight it. I imagine it must have happened pretty much like that. Just new people take over without war. There is this famous quote by, I don't know what sort of Islamic high politics figure, who said that the Islam will not win by war, but they will win by the womb, by breeding, just producing enough children and raising them in Islam. That's all it matters. You Westerns are going to sit down and talk while they are going to prepare. Yeah, but prepare for what? I mean, I think there will be no war. The war will not be necessary. They will just be the majority here. And that's all. World outside European borders is very cold and very medieval. Yeah. Culture of gaming, yes, okay. Morality and ethics, culture bound. I know a lot of morality and ethics is culture bound, but there are also some very basic fundamentals which surely everyone should rationally be able to agree with. Yes, of course. But what are these fundamentals? I don't think that Quran or Islam anywhere explicitly say that you should be somehow brutal and violent. I think it can be peaceful as well. It depends on the interpretation, of course, but I don't think that it is inherently violent or evil. And what is evil? What is evil lies in the eye of the beholder. Evil or not, you can't even tell what's evil without taking side. I think the Western culture promotes personal liberties more than any of the other cultures, and giving personal control over their own lives, and giving people controls over their own lives will ultimately make them happy. Yes. I think that's the thing. Western cultures really promote personal liberties, but and tolerance and everything. But a tolerant culture, a culture where every individual is allowed to do whatever he wants, is bound to die. I think that a certain amount of restrictions is necessary for a culture to survive long enough. Because if we are tolerant, we let others do with us whatever they want. You know? Tolerant cultures don't survive. Extremist cultures, nationalistic cultures, racist cultures survive or die trying. It depends. I don't think tolerance is the way. Discussion about morality, I always point people in the direction of the readable short text written by Engels on the subject. I don't know nothing about that. Well, it's your choice. Good luck with them. We solved the problem with them old-fashioned way. Rockets, and more rockets. Yeah, it would be so easy. I don't know. It's a difficult situation. No, it's not just the Quran. There is Hadith. I don't know what you're talking about, Willite. I'm not so familiar with Islam and anybody. And in discussion about tolerance, I point people to Zizek, who has some good words on that. I have to look up this Slavoj Žižek. Yeah, I first noticed him when I was looking up the history of these murders connected with this crazy guy imprisoned for years. I don't even know his name now. Was it Charlie or something? I don't know. But the guy was somehow fanatic and insinuated some, or not insinuated, but made some people kill some families or some horrible murders. And it was all somehow politically motivated or whatever. And Slavoj Žižek had his words to say there, and probably I just need to see. Can we play Dwarf Fortress? Yes, let's play Dwarf Fortress. Enough discussion. This is totally totally derailed here. Just think of what to do here. I need to go to the toilet and have another glass. Last one, otherwise we will not play anymore. What should I do now? Musical instruments? You know, this is the problem of me playing and drinking. Whenever I drink wine, I get chatty and I drift off in other thoughts. So let's quit this. Towers for future attacks. Solving immigration the Dwarven way. Unfortunate accidents. Ah, yes. Paul says somehow I think we won't be able to solve all these problems in Dwarf Fortress stream chat. Exactly. Let's play Dwarf Fortress. Let's have enough. Let's think of dwarven ways to play this thing. Tower needs to be completed. I think we've designated that, but hey, look at it. It's built. Thank you for reminding me, guys. The designated areas have been built already. So let's build the wall. Gabbro blocks. I don't know. Maybe I was talking a lot of bullshit here just by being drunk. But I tend to do it when I'm drunk. More towers, you say? Well, so here we would like to have fortifications actually, or a wall. Actually a wall. Build wall. Gabbro blocks. Floor. Floor cannot be built. We'll need to build a bridge. Races. Needs to be anchored on an edge. I see. Wow. That means... Okay, that means we'll first need to have a floor here. Paul says, oh, something completely different. Do you have any interest in Skyrim HD remake? No, sorry, I don't. I only discovered you after you finish your Let's Play, so I'm curious about this. No, yeah, I know the special edition is all nice and stuff, but it's basically, again, Skyrim only. I'm not so sure. I was thinking recently about these action RPGs. I don't fancy them anymore so much. Maybe it's the age. The older I get, the more I see them. I see them from the programmer's perspective. And if I see it's programmed simply, it doesn't amaze me. Campaign is okay, but the rest is pretty meh, says Red Sock. Same with a new polish. Same old with a new polish. Yes, it's just. I don't mind the graphics of the game. As you can see, I don't play games because of graphics and how fabulous they look. Certainly, I've been happy about how nicely Oblivion's and how nicely Skyrim looks here and there in the sessions, but it's not why I'm playing the game. Red Sox says, yeah, the programmer's perspective takes the magic away, but in Dwarf Fortress it doesn't. I'm constantly wondering how complex this thing is. Skyrim in Special Edition is bullshit, you say? Well, I say Skyrim in Special Edition is about as much entertaining as Skyrim was 4 years ago when it came out, or I don't know how many years ago it actually was, but you have a petition waiting for your approval. I see, yes. You have a petition here. Soldiering, approved. Enough. So we will have a wall here. I want to have a racing bridge here and fortifications all around here, like on this air tile. It will be difficult to do the edges though, because you will need to build a floor here, fortifications here, deconstruct the floor and build the fortifications here, because if I build construction fortifications here, construction is already present because you have built the floor there. Taste is okay, that's fine, says Paul. Taste is susceptible to change. Now really I think for Skyrim, I still have this great gift of Witcher by Ferko, and it's a nice game. I like Witcher stories. I have read them all, pretty much, except for a couple of some Witcher stories, and I like the Witcher 3 game. But when I have Let's Played it, I didn't like. I didn't like myself. I didn't like what I have produced. When I was watching myself, watched my streams of Witcher, I said, "Wow, that's not really entertaining. It's not as entertaining as I was Let's Playing Oblivion. Maybe I have unlearned or lost the skill to Let's Play this sort of RPGs and in an entertaining fashion." And I said, okay, it's not really worth to be doing this anymore. If I'm not emphatic about it, if I'm not enthusiastic about it as much as I was about Oblivion and Skyrim. to be honest with you, I thought my Witcher Let's Play is pretty half-assed. There's not much love in it, and you can really feel it. So what's the purpose playing Let's Playing games just for the purpose of producing some Let's Play content? If it hasn't got my passion for it. Witcher is good RPG, but I feel like I'm not good enough to play it. I'm not good enough to play it well. I'm not good enough to play it entertainingly. And that's what keeps me from playing it any further. It's difficult. I don't know. It would really require me to dive into this constructed world of the Witcher game and really remember who is doing what and what's the purpose of this whole game and what are the relationships within it. And it's too complex for me to keep in mind, especially if I would only play it once in a while. It's too much effort. Like racing is nice. I just sit down and race a track. I don't need to think about any background. You know, there is not much complex knowledge and in-game lore about things in racing. Just about you driving the best time. Whereas in Witcher, to truly play the game enjoyingly, you have to be immersed and very familiar with the context of all of it. And I'm not really willing to put in the effort to learn all of it, to learn all the relations and lore. It's too bad maybe. Anyway, thanks for reminding me about the tower. It's progressing. So musical instruments. Where do we learn about musical instruments? I guess we best learn about musical instruments in the tavern where people are actually playing it, right? This guy is what is he? Reciting poetry right now? Red Sox says, I usually watch Let's Plays of RPGs after I completed them myself to see different approaches. Listen to poetry. Yeah, they are now listening to poetry. They are not. But there is Bard. Meditate on the bone. Maybe the Bard has a musical instrument. Let's view him. He's got an icop. Let's see what an icop is. This is a bronze icop. The neck is made from pine. So seeing the word neck, I think it's a guitar-like instrument, right? The body is made from bronze. The strings are made from kenaf. The bow is made from crystal glass. Crystal glass bow. Icop is a large handheld cloth-stringed instrument with a wooden neck connecting to a metal body, basically like a steel guitar, right? Except for steel guitar is not a string, I mean, not played by a bow. the strings are tied from the top of the neck down over the body, and the musician play the 5 strings with a glass bow. The musician can alter the pitch of a string by stopping it against the neck. Tuning is accomplished by pegs. The instrument has a 3-octave range going from a very low to a middle pitch. At all pitches, the instrument has a light, crisp timbre. It has 2 registers. The low register has a brittle, pure, piercing timbre. High register begins with a low pitch. It has a buzzy timbre. Interesting. Optimus says, Neg, I noticed great fall in immersiveness in the Elder Scrolls games, Daggerfall, Morrowind, and partially Oblivion Deep. But in Skyrim, I cannot play without tons of mods. Really? You think it's the game? I don't think it's the game, Optimus. I think it's the players. But the players had an easy. For me, at least, it was easier to notice subtle things around the game's environment when I was reading about it, and in Arena. I was reading about it. Whenever you enter a blacksmith's workshop or a mage's guild, you have this little pop-up telling you about the environments, that it's cold outside, and you feel the warmth of the candlelight, and the blacksmith, you hear the clanging of the hammer on the anvil and stuff like that. These things you read because the game makers were not able really to make it look like it in the game at that time. They have at least written about it, and when I read it, I notice it, whether I want it or not, because I read it. And it helps me to immerse into it. And when I just get into a thing in Skyrim, it makes an extra effort for me to notice all these tiny graphic details and sound details and 3D modeling details around it. I just don't pay too much attention to them anymore because it's become so standard. So I'm not thinking about talking about it. I just notice it naturally, but I take it as a given. Whereas when I read about it, as in the old games, it really evokes these thoughts and resonates these certain strings of feelings in my nerves. When I read about it, I just feel it much more. Just compared to when I see it. So that's what make the old RPGs much better for me to let's play, because my mind is attracted exactly to these little details which help me to immerse in the game. And in Skyrim I would have to constantly remind me of, okay, look at this detail, look at that detail, notice this, notice that. So and only then I would be immersed in that. Paul says Morrowind is also my favorite. I'm afraid I've never completed ME1. I burned out trying to explore all the planets. OCD is in danger there. Nah, Skyrim is small, shallow, and rather generic. That's my conclusion. I need mods to give to immersiveness and a real RPG feel. There are a couple of awesome mods that do that, like Requiem, Skyer, and so on. I agree with you. I'm a completionist too, says Red Sock, but try to stop when I realize it's a chore. Fruit Wizard says that's why I loved Planetscape Torment, so incredibly well written. Paul says Planetscape Torment, best book I've ever played. Yeah. Let's take a look at another instrument. Why did I never hear about Planetscape Torment? Is this something spacey? A role-playing video game developed by Black Isle Studios, published in the Interplay Entertainment for Microsoft. I never played that. 91% Metacritic. Takes place in locations from the multiverse. Of Planetscape Dungeons and Dragons fantasy campaign setting. The game engine is modified Infinity engines used for Baldur's Gate. Yeah, Planetscape is primarily story-driven and combat is not prominently featured. Oh, it's these games. I don't know. I have some bad feelings about these games playing from the isometric view, like Baldur's Gate. I've never really played them, so I have a hard time. Let's playing them now, like Pillars of Eternity. Pillars of Eternity might not be a bad game, but I just don't enjoy playing it. I don't know why. But what I would love, let's play for you, would be Zork Nemesis. It's a game I've played years ago, and I would love to have this game with all the old content. There was a really nice extra content to it. So that was very strange. I remember having bought this. It not only presented you with the game, but also with a brochure, which looked like special agent files. Yeah, like you are the special agent to explore this fantasy world. You are sent to explore this circumstances under which this and that happened. It really looked like you are on a mission there, and you could spend hours to read through the paper material and the brochures given you in the CD case of the Zork Nemesis game. And it's helped you so much understanding the game. It was amazing. I loved playing Zork Nemesis. I should play it again if I can find an edition where they have at least all these materials scanned and digitized. Because buying Zork Nemesis as a sole game without all these add-ons without all these files, which makes you really immerse into it. It's a bit half of the game, I would even say. Paul says it's planescape, Nagi. The idea is that there are different dimensions or planes, such as plane of fire. I have no idea what you're talking about. Optimus says played it too, not delighted. It just did not fit good to me. I would rather play Arcanum, Baldur's Gate or Diablo. In Planescape, you play as Frankenstein creature and everyone you meet are mutants. And you die over and over again, and there's no incentive to play. Okay. Yeah, I have no idea what you guys talking about. Feel free to discuss it. But yeah, Zork. Maybe I should just buy it and start playing it. It was so amazing game. It was one of my best gaming years. And I know games like I really care about, like Warlords 2, tend to make formidable Let's Plays. You know, if there is as much love you put into the game, the better, the more love you put into a Let's Play, the better the Let's Play gets. And if you Let's Play games you love, it becomes a wonderful product. Very watchable. Elif says hello, Sven. Hello. Old games, Zork Nemesis. Yes, Zork Nemesis, but is it? I just would like to have all the additional material with it, you know. Is it for free? I can't believe it. Well, it's there's the trick here. It's for free for the old Windows 95 system. Of course, I'm not running Windows 95, and I will not be able to run it properly. I wouldn't mind spending $50 on it and play it, port it to current Windows. Well, what would really be nice would be that if I had it with the additional material, you know, it's I think it was really worth it. Dan says, yeah, play Zork Nemesis. There are great old games none of us ever played because we were toddlers at the time. Dust Tales of the Wild West. Gone too bad. It doesn't work in Windows 10. Well, let me check at GOG. Certainly there must be a search button. Zork Anthology. Return to Zork Nemesis. For $2.99. Really? For $2.99. Should we just end this Dwarf Fortress Let's Play and then start a Zork Nemesis Let's Play? Oh boy, I'm so tempted because I love this game. No, I've played it once. I've played it only once. I'm not even sure whether I played it to the end. I don't really remember too much of it, except for a couple of scenes. But I know how much fun I had. it felt so adult. It felt so like not in this erotic way adult, but it felt so mature. It was puzzles all over. And there was even Zork, a sequel, Zork Grand Inquisitor, which makes me remember somebody gave me a gift of the game Myst, which I always want to play but never got to it. And I think it's at least as good as Zork. It's at least as good as Zork. But okay. I guess I'll be back. I'll be back with the Let's Play of Zork. It's horrible to think how many open Let's Plays I have and not finished Let's Plays. So let's have another unfinished Let's Play. I think we have achieved a lot in this Dwarf Fortress. I cannot concentrate on it right now, to be honest. Let's save it here. Let's call it a session. It's been a political session. It's been a drunk session. Let's do something new. Let's try Zork Nemesis. Maybe I will remember the old times. And have a nice evening with you. I'll see you in I don't know when I'm ready to play it. Maybe I have to sober up a bit first. But I'll see you. Thanks for watching.